Hey everyone, welcome to this daily Sidereal Astrology forecast for Tuesday, May 19th, 2020. Alright, so today another very simple day astrologically, no major aspects going exact. So the most important thing is that we are coming up to the ending phase of the current lunar month. We're going to have a new moon on Friday. So as we approach Friday, good to maybe create some space, maybe complete some things in our life, and maybe start to see what new intentions we may want to set around the corner. Now today the moon will still be in receptive Pisces, so still a good day of finding peace in our life, maybe following what's important to us on a soul level, listening to our intuition, creativity, maybe getting some rest. Could be a really good way of working with this phase of the lunar month. So going into tomorrow though, we do have Venus squaring up to Neptune for the second time. We had this about a couple weeks ago back on May 4th. And so now with Venus retrograde squaring up to deep water Neptune again, maybe there's some things to rethink regarding our ideals. Maybe things involving relationships or enjoyments or resources in life that we can go back and maybe start to rework or redo here this middle part of the week. All right, so let's take a look at all this here in more detail when I return. All right, so here's the sky for this Tuesday. And again, we are using the visible sky, which is different from mainstream astrology. If you are new to the channel, definitely check out the link down below because the signs are very different and you will notice a lot of the signs I mentioned are different. For example, we do have this new moon coming up and it will be in the constellation of Taurus if you were to look up at the visible sky, but in mainstream astrology, they might say it's in Gemini. So do check the link down below for more information on true sidereal astrology. All right, so let's take a look here at the moon, which represents the theme of the day and where we're at in the lunar cycle. So in this case, still in deep watery Pisces, we've had this energy the past couple days as well. It is a good time of essentially finding peace in our life, right? Pisces being the last zodiac sign is about coming full circle back around to releasing and finding sort of peace with things in life. So great time for setting intentions that involve maybe what are our ideals, what's important to us on a soul level, spiritual level, maybe getting into our imagination, our intuition, maybe simply creating some space and rest with Pisces. Good to get into that watery nature, especially because we are starting to close out the current lunar month as we do approach that new moon on Friday. So this is always a good time of completing things anyways, being the last phase of the lunar month is very Piscean anyways. So good to see what can be completed this week or finalized or released to make space for those new beginnings, which will be going into the weekend there. Now we do have a lot of energy still in grounded Taurus where we've had the sun recently enter. Mercury's been here, Venus has been here for a very long time now, retrograde. So the larger monthly context and what we'll be gearing up for in the next new moon will be about cultivating our inner and outer resources, right? So great time of focusing on what are our inner strengths, inner stability, resourcefulness, and also focusing on things in the external realm. What do we enjoy? How can we create more security with the resources of life? Maybe connect to nature, get into our senses, relaxation perhaps. And with Venus retrograde here, this is all going through this reworking process. So it's good to rethink our values during this time. And I would say really good to just kind of be flexible with things all the way up until about mid-July. That doesn't mean not to implement things. It's a great time of implementing, especially once we get to the new moon. But to experiment, right? Venus retrograde is helping us experiment with our relationship values, our resource values, our enjoyments in life. And so really good to be flexible with that stuff. Experiment, try new things, and see what emerges during the retrograde. Now, with that being said, that Venus is going to be squaring up to Neptune exact tomorrow. And this is an aspect that we've had for about the past couple weeks. This first one exact around May 4th. So with this, again, Venus representing our values is squaring up to deep water Neptune. And so as we get into tomorrow, we may start to see if maybe there are some ideals regarding our resources, values, enjoyments, maybe relationships. It is again that deep water energy. So maybe a good time of starting to put some intention towards some of these ideals, right? Squares to Neptune can be very constructive of building towards some sort of dream or ideal or something very important to us on a soul level. That might be Venusian. Venus, again, resources, relationships, enjoyments, things of that nature. So as we get into tomorrow, this will go exact tomorrow, so that'll be strongest in the later part of the day and especially midweek. But yes, what are some things that we may want to take some action towards while experimenting, right? Some ideals, dreams, but at the same time being flexible, learning, being curious, experimenting, really good way of working with this energy, especially with all things Venusian, which again are usually our values and relationships. All right, so and then in terms of the aspects, so no major aspects today, but we do have the moon squaring up to this Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, who have been very close to each other this year. And so maybe some of the collective stuff that's been shifting since January could be good to maybe set some intentions towards, maybe take some actions towards. But again, we are starting to enter the ending phase of the cycle, so it could be signifying completion with maybe some of these things that have been, in the larger yearly sense, been going on for us maybe as far back as January. Squares are usually a good time of setting intention, integrating, taking action. But again, with this completion phase in mind, I think is great. All right, everyone, so that's the daily forecast in a nutshell. Very straightforward. Most important thing is this gearing up for a new moon on Friday, the ending phase of the cycle. Right now, cultivating greater peace in our life, creating some space, listening to our inner guidance. And the larger context, which will be emphasized for the next lunar month, will be on cultivating those resources, both inner and outer strength, resources, and steadiness in our life. All right, so everyone have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that like button if you haven't yet. If you're new to the channel, definitely subscribe for more daily videos, and I'll see you all tomorrow for the next daily forecast. Take care.